In this video, we're going to graph the equation y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8 by determining the vertex of this parabola, the vertical intercept, and any horizontal intercepts. To start, let's take this equation y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8 and write down that a, which is our coefficient on x squared, is equal to 1 here, b, our coefficient on x, is equal to negative 2, and c, that constant term, is a negative 8. So in determining the vertex of this parabola, we know that x is equal to the opposite of b divided by 2a. So here, x will be the opposite of negative 2 all over 2 times 1. So when we simplify this, we're going to have positive 2 over positive 2, which is simply 1. Now, we'll use this x value and plug it into our equation to determine the value of y. So the value of y here will be 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8, which will be 1 minus 2 minus 8, which is equal to negative 9. So the vertex is the point 1, negative 9. Let's now algebraically determine the vertical intercept. The vertical intercept is going to occur when x is 0. So if x is 0, then we can find that y is equal to 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 8. And that simplifies down to negative 8. So we know then that the vertical intercept can be written as the point 0, negative 8. Now we'll determine any horizontal intercepts. To do this, we need to find x when y is 0. So we're going to find x when y is equal to 0. We'll set up the equation 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. Using the quadratic equation to solve this, we'll find that x is then equal to, and here we'll use our opposite of b, which is the opposite of negative 2, plus or minus the square root, and in here we're going to have b squared minus 4ac, so negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 8, and that whole expression is in our numerator, and it's divided by 2a, which is 2 times 1. So simplifying, we'll have x equal to, and that opposite of negative 2 is obviously just 2, so plus or minus then, we have the square root, and inside here we have negative 2 quantity squared, which is 4. We are subtracting 4 times 1 times negative 8, so we are adding 32. So in our numerator we have 2 plus or minus the square root of the quantity 4 plus 32, and that's all divided by 2. Simplifying that, what's inside that square root? 4 plus 32 is 36, so we're going to have x equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 36, and that's all divided by 2. So x is equal to 2 plus or minus 6, as 6 is the square root of 36. So we have 2 plus or minus 6, and that is all over 2. I'm going to break this down into two numbers now. X is equal to 2 plus 6, that quantity over 2, or x is equal to 2 minus 6 over 2. This first one will simplify to being 8 over 2, or just 4, or the second one we have here, 2 minus 6 is negative 4. When divided by 2, we'll get negative 2. So I found that x equals 4, or x equals negative 2, when I solved y equals 0 for x, and that means that the horizontal intercepts are 4, 0 and negative 2, 0. We'll now use all of this information to graph y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. To start, we want to note that we could put our axes straight through the center of this grid, or we could put them elsewhere. And as I look at this, the vertex is the point 1, negative 9. The vertical intercept is the point 0, negative 8, and the horizontal intercepts are at 4, 0 and negative 2, 0. One extra thing I can note is that I know that this parabola opens upward based on that leading coefficient, the coefficient on x squared being a 1, which is a positive number. So I'm going to put my axes toward the top of this grid. So that horizontal axis I'm going to put 2 units down, and then I'm going to put my vertical axis through the center. I'll label these with x and y. And then I'll add my scale. So for the vertical axis, I definitely want each of those tick marks to just be worth 1 unit so that I can make sure that the point 1, -9 and 0, -8 both fit. So I'll mark off -2 at 2 tick marks, -4, -6, I'm going down on this axis, -8, and then -10. I can put a +2 above as well. For the horizontal axis, I'll label each tick mark as 1 unit also. So 2 units to the right, I'll put a 2, and then I'll put a 4, and then I'll put a 6 on the end. And to the left, I'll include -2, -4, and -6. Now I'm ready to plot these points. I'll start with the vertex, which is at 1, -9. So I'll plot that point, 1, -9, where x is 1 and y is -9. Then I'll plot the vertical intercept, so where x is 0, y is -8. I'll put that point in. Then I'll plot the horizontal intercepts. I have 4, 0, and -2, 0. So I'll plot the point 4, 0, and -2, 0. The last thing I could do before connecting these with a smooth curve is to use symmetry and take this point 0, -8 and realize that on the other side of the vertex, I'll have a y value of -8. So when x is 2, I also have a y value of -8. And now I'll connect these to finish my graph. I'll come down, make sure I'm rounded near the vertex, and then come back up. And I'll add arrows on each end to show that this graph continues.